Greetings, 6th grade parents and students. Mr. Korn here. Today's video is going to be about percent. So our students started learning about a new concept which is called percent. This is a concept they may have learned in 4th grade, but in case they forget, we definitely talk about this again in 6th grade, and we extend upon the concept of percents. But so far we've just begun the unit, so the first video is just about simple percents. What is a percent, and how to make a model or find the percent of a model or a picture. So a percent, here's the definition. A percent is just the ratio of a number to 100. Okay? Percent also means part of 100. So whenever you have a number, any number, that's being compared to 100, such as 3 over 100, okay? Whenever you have the number 100 as your denominator of the fraction, the number up top, the numerator, always indicates your percent. So 3 over 100 could be rewritten as 3%. And again, part of 100. So this really means 3 parts out of 100 total parts. In other words, 3%, part of 100. Okay? And likewise, if it was 15 over 100, since we have 100 as our denominator, and this shows 15 parts out of 100 total, we can rewrite this as 15%. Okay? So let's look at a couple practice examples which are similar to the homework and some of the things we've worked on so far in our very first percent lesson of 6th grade. So here we have 2 examples. Let's look at this example. In case you can't read that, the words say, what percent of the square is shaded and what percent of the square is not shaded? So whenever we look at percents, it's always a good practice to look at both parts, the part that is shaded and the rest of it. Okay? As the students should know, and a lot of students have this prior knowledge from using cell phones and seeing their battery, 100% means a full unit or a full thing, a full square in this example. But as you can see, the full square is not shaded in, only a part of it. Now, there's 100 total squares in this picture here, and only some of them are filled in. So we're looking at what part is shaded, what percent, and of course what percent or part of the 100 is not shaded. So for the time being, all we have to do is count. If this is 100 total squares, which it is, you can count 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. What part is shaded? So simply count. Out of the 100 total squares, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So first we write a fraction or a ratio in terms of 100. And we can say that 28 out of the 100 total squares are shaded in. Since a percent is simply a part of 100 or a ratio of a number to 100, this number up here, the numerator, will tell us our percent, since we're talking in terms of hundreds. So we could say that 28% is shaded in. But then we have to think about what part is not shaded. Okay? So some students, you can simply count the rest, what is not shaded in. But that takes a little long. So whenever you know the percent that's shaded in, all you got to do is find the difference. If you know this is 100 total, well, 100 minus the 28 that's shaded in gives you 72 left over. So if 28 out of the 100 are shaded in, that means 72 are not shaded in. Okay? So this means that 72 out of 100 squares, which is equal to 72%, is not shaded in. Okay? So 72% not shaded. Sorry, it takes me a while to write on this. 72% not shaded, and of course, what we found originally, 28% shaded. Or colored. And then, of course, the whole thing must equal 100. So to test it, the 28% that's shaded plus the 72% that's not shaded must equal, of course, a total of 100%. Okay? Then there's these types of problems. Make this square 25% green and 75% blue. Of course, this is a typo here, as I'm just noticing now. So let's make the square 25% green, okay, and 75% blue. So here we have a square. It's blank right now. It's 100% white. There's nothing colored in. And there's 100 squares, okay, 10 rows of 10. So in order to make 25% green, we need 25 out of 100 squares to be green. And then we also need the other 75 out of 100 squares to be blue. So I can simply use my fill tool here, or students can use a crayon or colored pencil if they're ever doing something like this. And of course, literally just color 25 out of the 100 red, and green, and the other 75 out of 100 blue. And the thing about percents is it doesn't have to be in order. Okay? Any 25 out of the 100 squares that are green will do. As long as 25 out of the 100 are green, that means 25% are green. And as long as the other 75 out of 100 are blue, that means 75% of this square is blue. But I'm going to put them in order for ease of looking. So let's do 25% green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Another 10 will be 20. Then 5 more. 25% green. Choose my blue color. 5, and then of course the remaining 70. Okay, and you get the gist of this. I'm just going to color all the rest of it blue. Okay, so the main concepts to take away from this today, and obviously we're going to dig a little deeper into percents in the upcoming videos and the upcoming lessons. But for now, just know that percent is simply a part of 100. We use the percent sign to show a percent or a part of 100. And we always write our percents in two ways. We write our percents, and this is actually pretty important, we write our percents in a couple ways. We write it as a fraction, a part of 100, 25 over 100. And again, whenever that 100 is our denominator, this numerator up here will tell us the percent. 25% green, 75% blue. And again, on this percent sign here, okay, the percent sign is just a substitute for this fraction bar and 100. This percent sign literally means 25 parts of 100. Okay, in other words, 25%. Okay, let me know if you have any questions. Send me an email, give me a phone call, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.